interesting series of events that happened. My father arranged his ticket to Delhi from New York. My father used to be a travel agent based out of London Temple, Soho Street, and then Aindra came and stayed over at Soho Street. I vaguely remember my father mentioning it to me, and then he went through to Delhi. Not too long after that, we came to India. My father, myself, and my older brother, 3 of us. And we walked in Krishna Balaram temple in the courtyard, and I heard this devotee chanting Hare Krishna. And Aindra, was playing mridanga. And he had like a glove on, and he was like sliding with the glove, like making that whoop whoop sound, sliding with the glove. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. He doesn't burn his hand up. He doesn't get blisters and stuff. And I was a kid, so you think, oh look, that's funny, he's wearing a glove. But then it really hit me when I looked at him, and the image I get now was of someone who was chanting from the heart. And because when I heard the Mahamantra coming out of that kirtan, it penetrated my heart, and I was like, wow, what is this sound vibration I'm hearing of this Mahamantra that is so distinctly different from any I've heard before? And I remember like the distinct red copper beard and striking imagery of, it's like, wow, this guy hasn't shaved either. And he was just like fully absorbed in chanting, his eyes were shut, and I felt actually he was singing from the heart. And then we took darshan like that, and took Chandramita. And then my father came and sat down near Aindra, and we did a little kirtan, and then like the other devotee took over the lead or something, and Aindra was taking a bit of a break. I don't know if he was drinking water or he was just resting his voice. And then he turned to my father, and they started talking. Started conversing. He had a mridanga which was sitting sideways, not standing up, sitting sideways near to him. And I was intrigued to want to engage in kirtan. And I saw this mridanga, and I thought, well, I was naturally attracted to it, even though I hadn't taken any lessons, or still haven't really taken any lessons, or really focused energy in it. I thought, well, all right, I'll play mridanga. And I pulled the mridanga over to me, and it started rolling towards me. And I was ready to catch it. But you know, like the temple room set up with the steps in the courtyard. Yeah. So it looked like the mridanga could have been rolling and going to go falling down the stairs. So he, like, I guess saw in the peripheral of his vision, mid-conversation, just leaned over with his arm and like grabbed the mridanga and said, "Hey Prabhu, what are you doing? You have to be careful!" And just totally like blew me away. This little kid, like, I got heavied out by Aindra. That was my first full-on experience of him. And then I never forgot it. And then many, many, many years later, I didn't even know who he was then, really. I just knew him as one of my father's godbrothers, and they had a relationship. And then he got the mridanga, and then he said, okay, anyway, Prabhu, I should probably just be getting back to kirtan. And then he sat with the mridanga and carried on with the kirtan. But 1997 in Kartik, I think Niranjan Swami was singing, or some senior devotee was leading Damodarastikam, and I was playing mridanga with one of my friends. And in the middle of the kirtan, there was this devotee playing kartals, dancing around in ecstasy with all the other devotees, and coming up close to the kirtan, and you know, getting right up in everyone's face with the kartals, and then dancing some more. And then it really hit me that, hang on a minute, and this was in 1997, you know, and that must have been just under 10 years later. That's that guy that freaked me out when I was a kid. It's the same guy, and he's still here. All right, now I'm going to show him what I wanted to do on mridanga. So I picked up mridanga and played with him in kirtan. And I didn't tell him that story till many years later, but I showed him that I was a willing candidate for playing mridanga, even as a young kid.